Hello, today we are going to be making our painted paper collage of Frida Kahlo. Many of you know I love Frida Kahlo. The thing you need to incorporate into your collage would be those big bushy eyebrows. Make sure it's a monobrow, meaning one eyebrow or connecting eyebrows. The other thing to include would be flowers in her hair. I will then show you the process of how to get going. Step 1. We will be creating a continuous line drawing. You would need a permanent marker or thick black Koki to create your continuous line portrait. Remember, you are not to pick up your pen when you are creating your portrait. Now that would mean if you need to get to the other side of your face, you would have to go over the same line to reach the other end of your page. You could go through the face and make completely different, unusual lines within your portrait. So don't worry about it looking weird. We actually want it to have a weird look. You can then add color and patterns to your portrait. For your background, I decided on Starry Night by Van Gogh. I did pastel twirly whirlies all over in white and yellow. I then went over it with a watercolor with blues and purple. When you create your painted paper or your created paper, it doesn't have to be painted. You could take paper and color it in with pencil crayons. The thing, if you are making painted paper, it's really nice to see brush strokes or different mottling happening into the paper. If you are going to paint, you could include lines. It's really nice when you have unusual looking paper. So if you are painting, please make it interesting. You would cut all of this up to make your background and jungle elements in your Frida Kahlo picture. So I'm just showing you a few examples of some painted paper I've made. Now, don't tell me, Miss Lang, I don't have paint. It's completely fine to not have paint. You may do all of this with pencil crayons or with pastels. So I'll show you very quickly how you can make some unusual paper if you just have pencil crayons. So here are just a few painted sheets of paper that I wanted to show you. Okay, very quickly, if you only have pencil crayons or Kokis, you may create interesting paper as well. Remember, we are going to need leaves, so perhaps pick different greens with maybe some yellow in it, and we would take our paper and color in areas. You could see my texture's actually coming through from my table over here, but to make it interesting you can go in different directions. That would make a beautiful leaf. You could do this with pastels as well. It doesn't have to be pencil crayons. So you can do different directions, makes it interesting. If you're going to be doing a skin tone, you might pick colors that look like this and create a skin tone. Think about how big you would have that head. So I'm just showing you a little patch over here of what you might do if you're creating skin tone colors, different directions. Looks really nice, makes it quite interesting. And then when you cut it out, you've got some interesting paper. So it doesn't have to be paint. Please don't tell me I can't do it because I have no paint. Think about what your flowers are going to look like, what colors, different colors you might use. I'm only doing small little patches. You would do much bigger patches for your painted paper or your interesting paper. So think about different color combinations. When I create interesting paper using pencil crayons, and even paint actually, try and stick to colors that would sit next to each other on a color wheel. So when I showed you the greens, I showed you green with a yellow. That looks really nice. If I'm showing you different reds and pinks, will sit next to each other in a color wheel. And even with skin tones, you can see all of these actually are within the same color family. So please stick to colors that sit with each other and sit well with each other. You might want to do a purple flower or flowers. Remember to actually fill your page. I'm only doing little areas to show you how you might use pencil crayons and create paper with or interesting paper with pencil crayons. When you have all your interesting paper, what I want to please make sure you do is if you're drawing anything, for example, you might want to make her cheeks out of painted paper, please draw on the back side of your interesting paper or your colored paper. Please draw whatever you're going to do on the back side and then cut it out. So if we were creating a flower, you might draw it on the back and then cut it out. The reason is I don't want pencil lines all over your beautiful paper. If I didn't like that flower that I've drawn, I could draw over it and cut over here without ruining my paper. Same thing if you're drawing leaves, draw on the back, then cut it out. If you've done interesting paper like this, again, cut out or draw on the back and then cut it out. So please make sure you're not drawing on the front. If you draw on the front, you're always going to have that line into your work, which won't look great. So I want to show you very quickly a cut out leaf that's been made with pencil crayons. Still looks beautiful. You could even go in later, maybe with a marker, and add detail into that, and you can see how beautiful that looks. Add it to your collage. So very, very important tip, draw on the back of your interesting paper, not on the actual paper. You'll then be cutting out your different elements, the flowers and leaves and everything, and adding it to your collage. You can see I'm doing that now. Don't forget the middles of your flowers, leaves on edges. Make your collage interesting. I even added a jewel necklace, cut out paper, added a highlight into it. Please position everything before you actually stick it down. So decide where you're going to put your flowers, where your leaves, even your moon might go, and then stick it down. So do a lot of planning first. You might decide to leave your lady black and white. I decided to maybe put a little bit of color into her skin. It's up to you if you want to add color or not. I hope you enjoyed this project and I can't wait to see your results. Bye!